Okay, let's add a bit more flexibility to these dependency relationships we've been discussing. Now we're going to talk about leads and lags. A lead involves a change in a logical relationship between two activities so that a successor can start earlier than the relationship defines. If paint trim is a successor to paint walls, the project manager could introduce a lead such that as soon as one worker finishes painting the first wall, a second worker can begin with the trim on that wall. No need to wait to begin the trim until a whole room is painted. This allows for some simultaneity of effort. That's a lead. To move on to a lag, sometimes a given task demands a delay between one activity and another. For example, after the concrete is poured and leveled, it will need to cure, and it might need to cure for, say, 5 days, which would introduce a 5-day lag. This is a delay which, if the activities in question are on the critical path, will delay the project. For the purposes of your network diagrams in this class, you won't introduce leads or lags. However, it's important that you understand what they are and when you as a project manager might use them. So to recap, we talked about dependencies, predecessors and successors. What comes first? What comes next? Then we talked about dependency constraints, that is, what drives one task's dependency on another one. A logical dependency is the most common. Then we moved on to types of relationships. We talked about finish start, which is the most common and the one you'll be using in your network diagram. We also talked about start start, finish finish, and start finish. And then we discussed leads and lags, and those have to do with starting a successor task somewhat earlier, as in a lead, or starting it later, as in a lag.